Welcome back to Weekend at 1. The county government of Mombasa is now blaming the Kenya Medical and Research Institute, KEMRI, for the shortage of methadone, a drug used by addicts for the rehabilitation program. They had to airlift the drugs that are set to run for 1 month. This came after more than 800 drug addicts raised the red flag. Francis Mtalaki with more details.
It's early morning, and as we arrive here at Freetown, we meet this group of youth and elderly men who more than a year ago decided to quit the use of illegal drugs and embark on a journey to rehabilitate themselves with a promise to have methadone drug used in the process of rehabilitation.
Kama sisi tumeanza sasa, niko na mwaka mmoja na miezi 3, unaona. So sijai kukosa dawa katika hiyo mwaka mzima. So alafu nimekuja wiki hii, nakuja nikiangalia naona hakuna dawa, unapewa kidogo kidogo na reduziwa, unaona. So huwezi jua kitu gani yani ambayo itakutokezea, alafu there's no counseling.
So they started decreasing the doses. Walianza kupunguza, kama unakunywa 100 na kupatia 50, kama unakunywa 80 na kupea 20. Yani venye wanajisikia tu kuibalance, wana minimize venye wanataka ya.
In the last week we had a shortage countrywide, where the methadone that was supposed to arrived a bit late. So we rationed a bit for the week while reducing, while we are supporting them with a drug called codeine, which helps them manage the withdrawal symptoms of methadone.
Neema Said, popularly known as 001, driven by the fact that she was the first to enroll in this program, used cocaine for more than 10 years ago before deciding to change.
Yani unakuwa mtu unakuwa na tabia kama ya wizi, mfano simu ya mama, mara pesa, nini vitu kama hivyo, mpaka unajikuta unafukuzwa kwa nyumba kabisa. Kwenye pali kunauzwa madawa ya kulevya, unauza ngono, alafu ujue unajiexpose kwa magonjwa mengi sana. Na wakati huo, kutokana na maisha yangu, wakati huo ndo wakati mimi nilipatikana na pingamizi za kimatibabu, za kiafya. Nikapatikana na maradhi mengi tofauti.
It is at this point she began the journey of rehabilitation.
Mpaka dakika hii sasa nashukuru Mungu kujipata tu na nafuu kulingana na kutumia methadone. Lakini ungeniona wakati huo, nakwambia ni tofauti sana na sasa hivi nilivyo. Kwa hivyo maisha yale yalinifikisha mwisho, ikawa maisha yangu ni jela, kutumika mabarabarani, nishatumia miadarati, mpaka nimekuwa sina ule utu wala sina haya, unaona.
Neema says after joining the rehab, she is now a mother of 1.
Nashukuru, only within a month, baada ya miaka 10 ya utumiaji, nikaja kwa dawa. Kwa mwezi mmoja nibeba ujauzito, na hivi ninavyokuambia nina mtoto wa miezi 9. Na nashukuru, very clean baby girl, healthy. Uliza yote atakuelezea. Ni vile tu bahati mbaya leo sikuja naye, lakini huwa nakuja naye sana. Sasa yule mtoto amekuwa inspiration yangu ya kuendelea na hii dawa. Halafu by the way, kulingana na hii dawa vile inavyotupeleka, wazazi pia wakaanza kuona kweli msichana ametaka kurekebishika. Kweli nimerudi nyumbani, kitu ambacho sijafaulu mpaka sasa ni kupata kibarua cha kumwangalia mtoto wangu.
But with the shortage of methadone, Neema and the group could slowly slide back to where they were a year ago.
Alafu sasa walikuwa wametuambia ikija ikistop hiyo miaka miwili, kuna nyingine yenye watatupa ambayo itakuwa inasafisha hii. Sasa hata hii hatujamalizana nao na stopisha, hiyo nyingine hatujui itakuwa vipi. Ndio sisi tuna wasiwasi. Na walituambia kuwa hii tukiitumia, tukichanganya na unga, tutakufa.
I cannot go and rob. I cannot steal. I cannot do prostitution, because I am self-aware now. So they ask us now, what next? But for a majority of them, and I wish that your team had passed their ad in the morning, there's that group that is, they are very early, take their methadone, and then they go to work. Some of them are matatu touts, some are drivers, some are car wash. So they have changed their lives.
They all agree that the journey hasn't been easy.
Whoever will move, ataenda tu kwa maeneo kujidunga, kuvuta, ukaja mtu anauza sasa hapa karibu, akawa there's no going any far. Ikawa ni hapa, wengine wako hapa, wengine wako pale, people are smoking. Lakini tukawaacha kwa sababu you feel, hata wewe pia una feel. Yeah, because you're one of them.
In recent days, the government has been consistent in the fight against drugs at the coast region, but these cases could prove to be a serious challenge. This comes as the government is yet to complete a major rehabilitation center at Miritini area in Mombasa. Francis Mchalaki, KTN News.
The Central Organization of Trade Unions, led by Secretary General Francis Atwoli, just held a meeting with the shop stewards here in Nairobi. Our Mark Namaswa attended that meeting and now joins us live on Weekend at 1. Mark, what came out of that meeting?
Michelle, we have been listening to the Central Organization of Trade Unions shop stewards airing their views, tribulations in the job industry, in the labor industry across Kenya. They have been speaking to the leadership of the Central Organization of Trade Unions, led by Secretary General Francis Atwoli, here at their headquarters at Gikomba area. And right now we join Mr. Atwoli to shed some light on what they have been deliberating about. Welcome, Mr. Atwoli.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we need to know 1 or 2, 3 things about the importance of this meeting now that it comes just about Labor Day, and this year being an election year. What is the significance of this meeting at this particular time this year?
This meeting is very important to these workers because, as you are aware, most of these workers have lost their purchasing power due to devaluation or lowering of our shilling to a dollar up to 100 and to 103 from 80 something. And this has caused a lot of enormous problems to workers because rates have gone up, transport has gone up, petroleum products have gone up, the basic needs for our work have gone up. And as we are approaching Labor Day, we must be able to prepare workers and prepare government that as they come to preside over, because we have invited no other person other than the worker number one, His Excellency the President, to preside over these celebrations. And he must do a round table work with his economists so that these workers are compensated, because employers are vigorously campaigning against that because they are fond of exploitation, maximization of profit, and also investing in those countries that labor is cheap. Kenya is a satellite of economic activities in the region, and there is no way a country that have moved from a lower class economy to a middle class economy, to underpay workers. These are the things we are reflecting on. The other thing is trafficking of persons, because we have labor agents who have turned employment into a commodity against the International Labour Organization policies of making labor to be a commodity for sale. These are the things we want government to look in. The other area we want government also to look in is an area of elections as we approach the elections this year. We want it to be very peaceful. We want also the government, to particularly His Excellency the President, to minimize or to stop using civil servants in his campaigns, because they are supposed to be neutral to serve each and every Kenyan. Should use politicians.
Okay, let me just interrupt you and go straight to the budget that has been read a few days ago. The cry about unga year in, year out, what does it tell us about our economy and the status of workers in Kenya?
It is because we don't have foresight as per how we can eliminate hunger in our country. Kenya, we are not in a desert. Any country, including Northeastern, can produce food, but there is no policy towards that. But maybe it is because some of the people in the government are fond of corruption, to import maize, to do such like things so that they can make money. If you go to China, a population of 1.4 billion people, nobody dies of hunger. We are less than 50 million Kenyans, and people are dying of hunger. So we are appealing to government that it must put infrastructure in the areas like Pokot, in the areas like Turkana, in the areas like Baringo, and so on. Provide water, provide roads, make sure that the idle land which is in those areas is utilized for the benefit of Kenyans. The agriculture is the bedrock of Kenya, and government should encourage should make proper budget or budget allocation to our agriculture, so that once we can export food and have enough to eat, Kenyans will be stable. You cannot be able to address the economic performance of any government if the citizens are hungry. So it is upon the government, leave alone what they are doing at the coast, that is paltry. We should go at the extensive farming and also assist Kenyan farmers, subsidize them and make sure that the fertilizer, seed, seeds are available, particularly in those maize growing areas. That is how we will be able to avoid. And when there is food, workers cannot demand for higher wages and so on. But when the prices of special commodities, say for unga, 2 kilos is between 150 and 200 Kenya shillings, it's unaffordable. And I want to take this opportunity also to thank the government to have addressed the issue of hunger. It would have brought a lot of problems here. In a country that is a country of hungry people, you cannot be able to govern.
You have spoken going towards the direction of technology. You see it at the ILO, you see it at the International Labour Conference. The issue of technology and its impact on job cuts. How is KOTU preparing its workers in the face of technological improvements and impending job cuts?
Let me tell you, Kenya in the whole world is a country that is behind in implementation of technological changes as far as the agriculture and production, even in industries, is concerned. Kenya used to export clothes and everything, not only clothes or textile. We were number one in textile when we had Kikomi, when we had those companies around there. We used to do all what we could to make sure that even Raymond used to produce designer suits. But then this was overtaken by countries like Thailand and so on because of our laxity in consistency in doing things. So Kenya, if you go to industrial area like that, Dunga Road, used to be called Degenham Road. It used to produce all textile finished goods. It is no longer doing that. We have left it for EPCs or EPZs. They are doing it for export. So technologically we are behind. And I want to tell you, most of the world countries have gone in every city. They have moved from technological era. They are in digitalized world, where things are done on your smartphone, ordering, controlling your factories, designing, and so on your smartphone. We are people who are still behind. We are still talking of technology. Nobody talks of technology now. People are talking about digital systems. To be open, you can open your door when you are here. Kenya, we are still behind. We are not emphasizing our academicians to come up with education geared towards production, they are still on white-collar system of. Germany moved out of that. They support polytechnics, tertiary, all universities are technical, scientific universities to produce scientists who are highly digital. And we are still talking of technology. So we need to have, when I hear about Matiang'i, yes, he has brought discipline in academia world. But what is he doing about revolutionary, changing our universities into the universities that can produce, can create, and we can be able to make our own cars other than importing old trends from China. These are the things we need to be addressing.
Thank you very much. That has been the KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli enumerating a few of the issues that they will be looking forward for the government to address come May 1st during the Labor Day celebrations and as the country looks forward towards the general elections. Back to you at studio.
Many thanks, Mark Namaso. They're live for us from Nairobi, where KOTU boss Francis Atwoli was holding a meeting with shop stewards. Now, 2 days after the Jubilee patron in Uasin Gishu raised concern over the safety of aspirants, rowdy youths alleged to be linked to one of the candidates in Kapseret pelted stones at Kesses parliamentary aspirant Stephen Kipkemboi Yego, commonly known as Kewa, and his supporters, injuring 5 people. Speaking at Kiamba police station yesterday night, Kewa claims the rowdy youths were hired by some local politicians to carry out the attack.
Sisi hapa Uasin Gishu, Eldoret, Kapseret, we've encountered such an issue some time back which we didn't want it to happen again. It's unfortunate that we thought we were going to do a soap-up issue-based campaigns.
Mahali nyeti, akanifuruta mahali, so nikataka kupiga mayowe, so akaniwacha. Alfred Kadira akanifuata, akanishika shati. Nilipomsukuma kwa sababu alikuwa nimesikia hizi uchungu, ndio akanichapa kofi, so nikawa unconscious. Watu wakanifuruta wakaniweka kwa gari. waliponiweka kwa gari nikaona tu nasikia tu watu wakipiga nduru. So nilipoamuka nikaona maklase zinaanguka. So driver wa hii gari ndiye akaniokoa because walikuja wengi, walikuwa kwa Nissan karibu 3-4.
Zile nikajaribu kutoka ikakuwa ngumu sababu the convoy ndio ilikuwa inaingia. Lakini polepole nikajaribu kumanuva, nikapanda the wall kidogo tukatoka. Sasa mimi nilikuwa naendesha na concentrate na kuhepa na nasikia kitu kama mvua. Kumbe ni maglasi inaanguka. Tukapigwa mawe kabisa, tukapigwa mpaka some members nilikuwa tumeingia nao gari wakaumia kabisa.
2 cabinet secretaries have blasted the opposition NASA, accusing them of peddling untruths about what the Jubilee government has done. Mwangi Kiunjuri and Dan Kazungu faulted the opposition for allegedly spreading falsehoods about Jubilee projects. The 2 cabinet secretaries were speaking in Taita Taveta County.
Okay. Si mnasikia hata story ya hata D-. Si mnasikia story ya D-. Kuna mtu hapa Mombasa anasema it's okay to get a D-. It's not okay. Because ukipata D- wote kwa expert wa mining kesho. Na kuuliza hii si wazazi. Ukipata D- mtoto wako atafanya mining na engineering. Atafanya kwa ndio metallurgist wa Kenya mzima. Lazima tuhakikisha watoto wetu wasome vizuri. Because wakifeli tumeumia.
Leo hii mimi nataja yale serikali imefanya. Raila atakuwa hapa hivi karibuni, the next few days. Akiingia hapa story itakuwa namna hii. Atakuja wazee watu ya Taita Taveta Kande. Uhuru amesema amejenga barabara sawa, lakini hii barabara mwaka moja kabla haijakuja itakuwa na pothole. Manake yeye ni yale mabaya tu anajua kuelezea.
Runyanjo SMP Cecily Mbarire has settled on a teachers union official Dickson Murunguma as her running mate in the race for the Embu gubernatorial seat ahead of the Jubilee nominations slated for the 21st of April. Murunguma is the current executive secretary of the Kenya National Union of Teachers Mbeere branch and hails from the Mbeere sub-tribe. Mbarire, who hails from the populous Embu sub-tribe, said she considered gender and regional balancing in settling for Murunguma and made the decision following intense consultations. She also considered the age factor, pointing out that since Murunguma is older, a government would be able to bring all people on board.
Felt it was important to pick somebody from Mbeere South in particular, and to pick somebody with a commitment to see a difference in the people of Mbeere South. Having gone around in Mbeere South and listened to the problems facing the people of Mbeere South, and by extension the people of Mbeere North, they say the fact that they have had a deputy governor in government for 4.5 years, they haven't seen a big impact of that position in their communities.
Baringo Senator Gideon Moi has urged Samburu County residents to bring positive change in the county by electing development-oriented leaders in this year's general election. While addressing a crowd of more than 5,000 people at Alamano grounds after opening KANU's office in Maralal town, Senator Moi, who is also KANU's chairman, urged locals to only vote for President Uhuru Kenyatta and all aspirants eyeing various political seats on KANU's tickets as a bloc. He said the KANU party has come fresh to save counties from poor leadership, where sitting governors misused public funds to develop themselves. His sentiments were supported by 5 senators.
So you want a new team. Na hawa ni team change. Sindio? Ni team gani? Team gani? Ukiona kaliba ya hawa viongozi, ni viongozi ambao wataleta mabadiliko hapa Samburu.
Watu wasichezee watu ambao wanaitwa wafugaji. Nimeona ng'ombe wengi wamekufa, na hiyo inakasirisha mimi. Tunataka viongozi mchague ambao watakasirika namna hiyo. Muko nao KANU, si ndio? Wasichezee wafugaji.
Huduma ilianzishwa kwa sababu ya shida kwa Samburu walipata kwa hiyo miaka miwili ya serikali hii iko sasa. Walilia na watu wote walilia, na wasomi wakaona kwamba lazima tubadilishe uongozi ya hii kaunti.
The political temperatures in Nyeri County are getting fiery as the party primaries come nearer. The brother to the late Nyeri Governor Nderitu Gachagua, Rigathi Gachagua, has launched his bid to vie for Member of Parliament seat for Mathira, a seat once occupied by his brother. Rigathi has been described by some as a political firebrand in Nyeri, away from his link to the late governor. Rigathi's launch was at Karatina town, where his convoy snaked through several parts of the town, including the market, before winding up at the stadium in Karatina. Rigathi, who many had speculated as a potential candidate for the gubernatorial seat after the demise of his brother, told supporters his interest was in the Mathira MP's seat.
Walikuwa kwa chama ya TNA, wakakuja wakaiba kura ya nomination. Ndio watu ya Nyeri wakakasirika, wakaenda chama ndogo. Sio ni kweli? Mwaka huu watu ya Nyeri wanataka kuchagua viongozi wao kwa chama cha Jubilee, ambaye ndio chama cha Rais mpendwa Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Na kwa hivyo hapa Mathira katika polling station zetu 108 tutaweka vijana 100 katika kila kituo cha kupiga kura ya kuchunga kura za wananchi.
Now, two Maasai women are at each other's necks for the Kajiado East constituency post in what is seen as the first ever women political battleground in Maasailand towards the party primaries. Current Kajiado Women Rep Mary Seneta has declared her interest to unseat the incumbent Peris Tobiko. In 2013 general elections, Peris Tobiko recorded history as the first ever Maasai woman to beat several men to be the first elected female member of parliament in Maasailand.
Mwenye atashinda kwa nomination tutaendelea kwa pamoja, na mimi nataka kuwaambia ndugu zangu, kuna yule dada mwenye ametupa kiti yake, lakini akinishinda mimi nitamshikilia mkono.
Nominations of the Jubilee Party, which will be on 21st of this month, I want to urge those who will be presiding over to make sure that the exercise is free and fair. Let everybody be given an opportunity to participate and let the best person win.
Now, the Jubilee presidential team in charge of Kajiado County has dismissed claims made by a section of aspirants pushing for direct nominations for gubernatorial aspirants. Kajiado Senator Peter Mositet and Taraia Ole Kores, both eyeing gubernatorial positions, alleged that former CS Joseph Olelenku was being favored to get direct nominations. But the allegations have been dismissed by government whip Metito Olekato.
Tunapoongea maneno ya nomination, president wetu na naibu wake wao wako pale wanangojea timu ya kutangaza. Sini sawa? Na mimi nataka kusema hivi. Wakati wa 2013, wakati wa mwaka wa 2013, tulikosa kiti ya governor kwa sababu yule candidate wetu tulikuwa na yeye Kores aliambiwa hana degree.
Chama ya Jubilee itaandaa mchijo ambaye itakuwa free and fair. Itakuwa wazi, itakuwa ya haki. Hakuna mtu yeyote atapendelewa. Na hiyo tumesema kuanzia kiongozi wa chama yetu.